Jeff. Jeff is from NEO Baseball in Ohio, and I came across your Instagram profile there, and something jumped out at me, a quote that you had put up, and it was a bit of a different training philosophy potentially, or just a different way to look at baseball. But we'll get into that in a minute. Jeff, I want you to take us through kind of your upbringing, obviously your baseball career, and kind of right up until NEO. Like, how did you get here to be a coach of this club?
Awesome. First, Sean, thank you for having me on. I grew up in Michigan. Loved baseball since a young kid. Kind of had to decide between baseball and golf around 13 or 14 years old, what way I wanted to go. My dad was kind of like, all right, you're good at both. You just got to kind of pick one, though. Swings are a lot different. So I ended up going with baseball. Played high school ball, of course, and was a 4-year varsity player high school career. My high school wasn't very good, though. We didn't make much noise in the state or anything, but had a really good high school career and got multiple offers to a lot of different schools.
Awesome.
High school, I was 5'9", 5'10", 140, 150. I'm not a big guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, I wanted to go to a place where I knew I could play day one. So I did get offers to some bigger schools, one being Michigan State, Central Michigan, some schools in Michigan area, at lower D1 except Michigan State. And I ended up actually taking a scholarship to a private school called Hiram College, which is suburbs of Cleveland. Great academically, great baseball program, coach that's been there for 35 years that actually just retired recently, and ended up being a 4-year starter there and having a really, really good career there. After college, kind of didn't know what I wanted to do like most people after college. So I got a job doing some outside sales, but also knew I wanted to stay in the game. So I ended up being a coach for a 11U team, and I was coaching them, and I ended up coaching them for 5 years, and I still coach some of them now for an organization called Golden Spikes Baseball, which is one of the bigger organizations out of the Cleveland area. And from there, I knew that, what I was doing was right because the team was doing well. The kids loved playing for me. There was a buzz in the area about, wanting to come play for me. And, I thought it was the right time for me to finally step on my own and start my own organization. So I met a guy named Roger Smith who runs a big sports plant in the Cleveland area called NEO Sports Plant. And I co-branded with him to start my first organization. And we're actually in year 1. We just opened up in November when we started our off-season training. And, we're excited and, we're beginning a lot of buzz once again. And now I have the opportunity to, coach all different age groups and really dig into not only the baseball half, but the business half of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had a business management major. So, the two things I knew the best and loved the most were business and baseball. So I knew I wanted to find a way where I can combine both of them. And I'm really happy where things are at. And our new facility is an awesome facility. And, we're running really well right now. We're excited about our future and, our business plan going into the future and our steady growth, to become a very recognizable youth organization in the next couple of years.
Awesome. So yeah, it sounds like, perfect marriage there between business and baseball, right? That's very cool. Very cool. So is this just a training facility? Are you just working with, players and teams, or do you actually have your own teams as well that are under the NEO umbrella, I guess?
So it's both. We
Okay.
have two teams year 1. When I was working with the Golden Spikes, I was the assistant GM over there. And we had a partnership with the Lake County Captains, which is a professional team out of the Cleveland area. And we ended up growing really quickly. And we got 13, 14 teams year 1. And I saw a lot of negatives in that. We were overwhelmed. Yeah. We didn't have the coaching. We weren't prepared. So I learned from that, and I really wanted to make sure when I did it by myself here is to really take it slow and make sure it's gradual, successful growth. making sure that the kids are actually getting the training that they need, the mentorship that they need, the leadership that they need. So I wanted to take it slow, step by step. So, 2 to 3 teams year one is all I wanted. Next year, I want to grow to about 5, and then slowly keep growing to 10, 15, but making sure I have the right coaches, the right space, the right connections, and just, make sure that I am comfortable with taking on those kids, because I want to make sure when they come to me that they're getting what they pay for and what they deserve, and for me to help them reach their goals of getting to the next level. But we also do run camps. Lessons is our biggest thing right now. I mean, we're doing lessons all day, every day. So of course, lessons is huge. Personal lessons, small group lessons. But yes, there are 2 current teams. There's a 15 and a 12, and we're looking to grow from there. And our 15U team is super exciting and a lot of really good talent. And we'll go travel on a national level this year. So that's a really exciting team to look out for.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I think that's really smart, and not just within the baseball or travel team world, but just business in general, is to, build up slow and so it's sustainable, right? I can see, right off the hop, I've never been, part of that travel organization per se, like within the club. I've coached and stuff, but, if you don't have, all 13, head coaches there bought into your philosophy and your system and everything like that, I can definitely see how that would be a recipe for disaster. And,
Yes.
You may be, 2-3 years and then everything falls apart.
Absolutely. You're right.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I want to touch on kind of this post you put up, and it really jumped out at me. Small background of me, I've played baseball my whole life as well. One of these team sports, love team sports. And I'm just going to read the quote that you put up, and it is, "Baseball is an individual sport wrapped into a team concept." And it was wild because I'd never thought of it that way. And, going through your explanation and everything like that, it was 100% right. And everything really made sense. And I just want to kind of get your take on, why you posted that. Is that influence your coaching philosophy? Why does that quote, stand out to you, or why is that important to you?
Actual.
All right. I think we're back now. Yeah.
Awesome. So to me, that's a really important, quote for a youth player to understand, because of course baseball is a team game.
Yeah.
But what's a little different than the rest of the other main sports in America with baseball is it's an individual versus individual, basically every aspect of the game. One person, of course, can't win you the game. You got to have a team effort to win the game. But the little increments as the game moves on is individualized. When you're at bat, it's you versus the pitcher. You and the pitcher are the only ones that can make a difference at that point of time to make an impact to the game. Also, the big thing for me, defensively, I played basketball as well. But for some reason, when the game got down to the very end, when I was playing basketball and baseball, I always felt this a little more pressure playing baseball on the defensive side. And the reason for that is defense is a very, very team aspect in basketball. But in baseball, if you're playing center field and there's a fly ball to you, you're the only one that can make that catch, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Where in basketball, if a guy gets by you at the top of the key, you have your 4 or 5, your center or power forward there to maybe help you out. Where in baseball, it's you, and if you miss that ball or you let that ball get by you, everyone knows that's your error, and there's no getting back on it. So to really think about it that way, where it's an individual game at that point, because you got to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know what your role is, and that's with every sport. And I made that clear in my statement, but with baseball in general, it is just like a super cool game just because of the strategic individual matchups that you see. And that's why you see the big leaguers, you see 2 to 4 pitchers a game, an inning, sometimes, because they're literally looking at the individual matchups. Oh man, this guy is really bad versus lefties, or this guy is not good against curveballs. We're going to bring in our best curveball relief pitcher. And then the next guy's a lefty. I'm going to go back, get him again to get that lefty. And that's actually funny that I brought that up because that's one of the rule changes. And that I'm trying to get rid of right now. And I'm totally against it, actually, because of that reason. It takes away a little bit of that strategic game like about the game. So I think that's where that quote comes from. I don't remember exactly where I heard it before. I didn't create that quote, of course. I don't remember where I heard that from, but when I heard it, and I knew I heard it a long time ago, it stuck with me. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've used it for a while now. And I think it gets across to the kids that, hey, you got to work hard to know your own position. You got to work hard to step up for your team and have that mentality where I have my team on my back. And if all 9 players on the field have that mentality, not relying on the other guys, but also knowing that your teammates are there for you when you need them, but you got to step up in your own right, that's when the team comes together really well and starts to play at an elite level.
For sure. Yeah. No, and that makes sense. Everyone wants to, strive for the best and do their part in the team. As a coach, how do you make sure that, that pressure, that individual, achievement isn't too much for, especially maybe some younger kids, if they're just starting to get a little bit competitive. And if we have some of these, philosophies trickling down and, how do you balance, hey, this is an individual effort, but it is a team game. And, if you make an error and lose the game, it's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah,
How do you balance that?
So, of course, you said it perfectly with age. I think you have to be able, to be a good coach, to me, you have to be able to communicate to the athlete's perspective. So you got your 16, 17-year-olds that are, already really good players that are looking to get scholarships and they're in the game, full on. And then you got your 9 through 12, 13-year-olds that, haven't found their path yet. I definitely teach the game to the young kids of more of a fun aspect. If you would come to one of my 12U practices and then you would come to one of my 15, 16U practices, you would feel a whole different vibe. 15, 16U, a team that plays at a national level, and I have 13 kids on my roster that want to play D1 ball, it's a little more serious. It's a little more you better get your stuff done today. You better get going, a little harder, a little quicker pace. Where at the 12U level, you might see us have a little bit of fun. You might see us do some drills that might not be super beneficial to, that individual skill set, but might be beneficial to, learning the game at a bigger level or, learning communication or leadership or teamwork or, kind of like this life lessons more than baseball lessons. So I think it all has to do with the age group and, making sure as a coach that you really zone in on the perspective of the player. And, you can't talk to every player the same. Every player sees things differently. And, as you learn your players, you got to make sure you talk to them in a way where they're going to learn the best and understand you the most. So I think, the answer to the question is the younger kids, you need to make sure that they know that it's also fun, because if you push that, onto the younger kids, they might fade away from the game. And that's the last thing you want, of someone fading away from the game because they had that coach that was super hard on them or really made it known, hey, this is an individual sport. You gotta get going, other than hey, it's also fun. This is a game at the end of the day. So, it all comes down to the perspective of the player and being able to communicate the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And is that something that you maybe saw in previous coaching roles or other organizations, whether it was you playing in it or, being a part of it as a coach, that maybe there was a lot of pressure, maybe it's a, higher level team and, we're really trying to strive to push them to that, 14, 15-year-old team to play at that national level. Just throwing it out there, is that maybe a part of the reason why you wanted to do something on your own? Is that something you've seen before that you kind of wanted to correct in your own organization?
Yeah, so I've worked with a couple of different organizations now. And of course I saw a lot of negatives in them. And that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to start my own. I kind of wanted to bring together what I thought was right, from all different type of aspects. But overall, I think that the biggest thing is there's nothing more important to me than how we communicate. And I saw in some other coaches, you never want to see a coach push a player where he's not supposed to be pushed. And, when I was growing up, I played on a really competitive team in Michigan. And we had a coach, when we were 11, 12, 13, who held us to super high standards. And I saw some really, really good players on my team, not even play high school ball because they kind of got pushed away from that.
Yeah,
So
fair enough. Yeah.
subconsciously, for me at a young age, I kind of liked that. So, it kind of worked for me. So what my coach should have done when I was younger was to, find out, hey, that works for me, do it to me. But, these 2, 3 kids, you shouldn't talk to them like that. You shouldn't, you should find a different way to make the game a little bit more fun because these are our talented kids. And, when you're that young, your brain's a sponge and you're going to start to take in, oh man, like this practice is not fun because all coach does is yell and want everything's hard work. Yeah, where's the fun at? For me, I liked it. Some kids don't like it. You got to make sure you have a good mix, especially at a young age, where they have that team aspect, but they also have the individual aspect. And I think when you find that good mix, depending on the team's talent level, the mindsets of the kids, then that's when you start to create a really good culture inside of an organization. And that's when things start to really work well for not only the players, but the coaches, the organization, and the brand as a whole.
Yeah. I think that kind of ties back into that original quote, right? That, it is an individual, aspect into this, team game. You can talk to the team a certain way, but when you get into one-on-one coaching and conversations, it definitely has to be different. You're right. I mean, we've all seen, players get turned off, the game. And, I've played with players who did the same thing, played at a high level, and now they're on my men's team and, said the same thing. We just had coaches that rode them way too hard or, just made the game not fun anymore. And, turn them right off. Who knows what could have happened if they maybe found that right coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on the fun spot a little bit here. So you're a new organization, brand new. If someone's looking to enroll their kid in an organization in your area, why what differentiates you from someone else in your area? Why is someone going to look at NEO versus those other organizations in the area?
Gotcha. It's a great question.
Yeah.
I think, there's a lot of good organizations in the Cleveland area. There really are. And I respect and talk to basically all the main guys in the area for all the different organizations, and all of them do something a little bit differently. The one thing with us though is, a couple things that we do that not a lot of other organizations do. We're really new age. All of our coaches are under the age of 30.
Okay.
Baseball has changed a little bit, and we're really big, going back to what we just talked about, we're really big into having personal relationships with our players, and not only helping them on a baseball level but helping them on a life level as well, and anything they need from us. Our facility is we're one of the only ones in the area that our facility is open to our players. It's a home. It's not, hey, you have practice from 6 to 8, get out.
Okay. Yeah.
We allow our players to feel free to come into our facility at any time to get their work in. Not only that, we have everything they need. I was a really big trainer on any type of technology and or training tool I love to use. I wasn't just a bucket of balls, bat guy, glove guy.
Mm-hmm.
I loved all the training tools, any type of training bat to training gloves to new technology, anything to help they give me a little edge over somebody else. That was big for me. So I wanted to make sure when I started my own facility that we would have all that. So if you walk into our facility, we have 15 different training bats. We have weighted balls. We have armbands, everything for arm care, pancake gloves, different type of reaction balls, anything that you can think of that you would find in a college clubhouse or MLB clubhouse. We wanted to invest in, so we had the best training tools for our kids that come in and train. And, as they play for us, we teach them how to use all of those the most optimal way. That way, when they come in themselves, they all feel comfortable using all those different training tools by themselves for certain types of drills. Then, also, we create a family culture. a fun culture. Everyone always feels welcome. And the biggest thing for me now, being also a business guy, is we're really big on promoting through social media, as you are. Um, and people need to start to realize, that this is life now. Like phone
That's
is
everything. Yeah. Yeah.
everything. So a lot of people still, we are we are taking a big route into getting kids recruited through this. I actually posted a video of one of my kids hitting the other day. It's on my Instagram. And we actually had a local college coach DM me on Instagram that said, "Hey, I need to know about this kid now." And
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
that's the future of getting recruited, of really doing anything in life, is making sure that you have quality content, making sure that you are promoting your kids the right way. So we plan on doing, this is year one, and you can start to see it a little bit on our Instagram, but it's going to get better and better, of course.
Hmm.
We plan on doing, really cool vlogs as we get into the tournament schedule, and, really showing our culture environment. We plan on, getting everyone, really good videos, and, college recruitment videos, and showing off their skills. And we actually have a full-time media guy who comes in with a really nice camera. So every practice is recorded. Everything that we do is on microphone. So everything is super in depth. We're also very analytical. So
Okay.
charts and tallies of everything. When you throw a bullpen, at another organization somewhere else, you might just throw a bullpen. With us, it's not just a bullpen. You get to know, how many pitches you threw, what was your strike percentage, what was your average spin rate, how many pitches did you throw down the middle, how many pitches did you actually hit your spot on, how many pitches did how were you like versus lefties in the box versus righties in the box. So we are very analytical, and we like to break down not only video but analytics, and really keep a really good in-depth chart of what you got going on, both on the defensive and offensive side, with bat speed or exit velo. And that way, and then we always record it, put it up on the wall. That way, when you come in, you have someone that you can compete with, not only, but you also competing with yourself and saying, "Hey, I know what I got to do to get better here." And if you're getting it better now, other than, "Hey, I took my exit velo today. I came back a week later. I don't even remember what it was. Now I
Mhm.
have nothing to push me to get better." So, we're trying to bring a new age than what the new age is, using technology and analytics and video to really get the kids better, and really not only get them better, but to have them have something to look at to see improvement. And with this day and age, there's no excuse of not giving that to the kids. It's so easy to come by now. It's like an everyday life now. So I feel like it needs to be utilized.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I completely agree with you. Now, what would you say to maybe a parent who is a little bit more of the old school, the purist, who maybe isn't quite bought into all of this advanced technology and new training tools, but there's a very good chance that their child will respond to that very, very well. What would you say to that parent to maybe just give you a shot? Just maybe come in for a lesson or something, right? We don't want to, we talked about individual coaching and how each kid's going to respond differently. Maybe their son or daughter is going to respond to you in the exact way that they need, but maybe that parent's not quite bought in yet. What would you say to them right now?
That's a big issue in my industry,
Hmm.
because especially with the younger kids, it's usually the parent making the decision.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Oh, they got the money, right? Yeah.
so it's usually them making the decision on where their kid plays, and I see that all the way up to about 16 years old, even after that. But usually when you're about 16, I see the kids starting to make decisions. But I have an open door policy. We also are open to always giving free one-on-one lessons where the parents there and they see us working with their kids. I do that all the time. I think that I need to earn their business. I think my value isn't there until they know that I can bring their kid value. So why make them pay? So I do a lot of first lessons for free.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
makes sense.
they end up coming to be a consistent customer because of that. And they probably wouldn't have came in if I wouldn't have done it for free in the first place. So there's a lot of, coaches out there that, and I understand, you're giving your time, but I'm willing to give a half hour of my time for one time to get a consistent, client that I can really help and bring value to. Today I have one where I'm going to go in and give a lesson for free. I've never met the kid or the parent. And they'll be able to see, how I communicate, how we work, how we run things, how nice our facility is, what we offer. It's just getting them in the door to, be able to show them, and be able to show them how adaptable we are to change according to what your needs are. We're not a one-way street, we're adaptable. And, that's, something that I always wanted to be able to do, is to be able to have a large market of people that I can, attract to bring value to, because, as me, I love to be adaptable. I love having 4 lessons back to back to back, and, saying the same thing, but saying it 4 different ways as I'm talking to 4 different kids, getting the same point across and just saying it a little bit different. And I think once a parent sees that, they usually see, hey, like I can trust my kid coming here. I know it's worth my money. I know I'm going to get the value. And the biggest thing for me is to really tell them, hey, like, we're here for them. My long-term goal is whatever their ambition is. So if their ambition is to play varsity baseball, I'm there to get them to play varsity baseball. If their ambition is to play at a college level, I'm there to do anything possible to get them to play at the college level. But at a realistic point, I'm also the coach that would say, hey, you ain't good enough to play at LSU. But, let's get you to a good D2 college somewhere. I'm not going to tell a kid a lie. You're not there.
No, it's not a good long-term relationship, right? Yeah,
exactly. So, we had that kind of perfect middle ground of honesty to, optimism. We're kind of pulling from both sides on the honesty and optimism to make sure that, we're giving a kid on the right path, but letting him know that we're there for him for whatever his ambition is, and we'll work to it at whatever we got to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think right now, you have the 2 teams, and you're doing things, but it sounds like it's just a little bit different. You're maybe ahead of the curve a little bit, right? We're really kind of jumping on some of these new coaching, whether it's coaching techniques, philosophies, training tools, all we've talked about before, social media, all that kind of stuff. Where can someone find you and maybe start to follow along, kind of see what you're about? We may not even have a team for a particular athlete right now, but maybe that's what we need is a season or 2 for that parent to follow along, see what you guys are about, see some success with a couple of these teams, and then maybe next season come out and bring their kid up for a tryout or a lesson. What does that look like? So where can they find more information on NEO, yourself? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So we have all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're really focusing to start off on Instagram and Facebook. But we are get into YouTube as the season gets going. And Twitter, we haven't done much with yet either, but we do have one. You can find us all at NEO Baseball Club. Also our website, neobaseballclub.org, will have all the information. We're lucky enough to have a ex-Cleveland Indian. Actually, he played for like 13 different teams. If you go on our website,
oh, wow. Yeah.
Julian Tavares, he's there. He's been back and forth to the DR recently because he's needs to go help his family over there. So he hasn't been there as much as he wanted to, but he is a full-time staff member and our head of player development, who's going to get more involved as we go. You can see a really cool interview of him. It's actually our first ever Instagram post that we posted. And I would just we post 3-4 times a day on Instagram and Facebook. And I want to bring as much value for free as possible. So people know what I'm all about, know what the brand's all about. So if you go on there, as a player or a parent, you'll be able to see what my coaching philosophy is, how I communicate with the kids. So every post that you'll see, will kind of represent what we're about. So there's no fake things going on. It's all real. It's all non-scripted. It's all me, with the camera going, and I basically most of the time forget the camera's there and I'm just coaching. And then at the end of the day, we sit down and we're like, oh, that was a good quote right there. Let's get that up on there.
Yeah.
Kind of just comes all natural. I do very little video where I'm just kind of standing in front of the camera, like face to face. Most of my videos would be with a student.
For sure.
And I'm just kind of naturally doing my thing. And then, putting, a clip of it onto Instagram and Facebook. So, definitely follow us on Instagram. That's what our main focus is right now. And check out our website. We actually have a new website coming. It's actually in the process. We kind of just threw up a kind of like a landing page as of right now. It's still pretty good, but we actually have our real website coming out that will come out April 1st. And, if you're in the Cleveland area, come check out the facility. You can DM me, and, our facility is beautiful, beautiful facility with everything they need to do to be able to train. And anyone's always welcome to come in and check it out, talk to me, meet me. Meet our staff, and really see what we're all about. And I'm open to taking my time out to be able to talk to them as well.
Amazing. So before we go here, any last words for players, coaches, parents, anything you want to leave everyone with?
I would say baseball is the greatest game on earth. I love it with my heart, and I would say to whatever your ambition is as a player, you have to match that with work ethic. So that's my big thing. I mean, if I have a kid that tells me his ambitions is to play and have fun, great. I'm not going to push him that hard. But if you come to us and you say, hey, my ambition is to play D1 college, you better get ready to get pushed, because I'm a big believer in what that ambition is. The work ethic needs to match. So, we're quick to call people out if they come in saying they want to play for the, they want to play for LSU, and they come out and, we see them only 2 times a week. We're going to call them out. We're like, hey, you ain't going to play for LSU. So my big takeaway for kids nowadays, and, kind of what my thought process is now, is whatever your ambition is, work ethic needs to match it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. Jeff, thank you very much for jumping on this chat here. I think everyone should definitely follow along what you guys have going on. The look I've gone through your Instagram has been super informative. I think there's something that even a 33-year-old men's league player can probably pick up on. So I'm going to see what I can do this season as well. We'll link all of your socials in the comment section as well, so people can see that if we're listening on the podcast here. And again, I really appreciate your time, and best of luck this season.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean, so much for having me on. And, always enjoy this. So anytime, I'll love to jump on and talk baseball with you.
That sounds great. Amazing.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.